let's get sweaty.
So that probably then leads us in to a bit of a story. Little bit of a story here, which, James, I'm going to get you to start with, if I may, while I keep hounding round bloody Twitter. But let's talk Shenmue artwork. Now, we're not going to show everything off tonight because we're still working on everything behind the scenes. But let's set the scene around these artworks and sort of how this has all come about. And I'm going to show 10 images on the screen tonight. And also we've got the books of some of them here with us, and we're going to flick through a few of them as well before we dive into some games as well. So James, take it away, dive in.
Right, well, hopefully this comes out okay, because I've not pre-prepared anything, but essentially we spotted a Japanese auction, and in fact there was 3. So the seller was selling a Shenmue folder, or a folder full of Shenmue artwork, such as this, for example. There was 3 of them, 3 different auctions. We knew we had to have them, of course, for Shenmue Dojo's purposes, our own sort of collections, and utmost importance, preservation.
Yes.
So
yes,
obviously things get messy with auctions, so it's going to get quite pricey. Very desirable goods such as these. So we banded together, a bit of a team. Me and Matt, David DeVille from Shenmue Master, Chow from Shenmue Photos, and Nathan24, who's a good friend of ours, and obviously part of the Shenmue Dojo. Well, as long as I've been there.
Been around the community for years and years.
Exactly. So really trusted people. We acquired obviously, these auctions. They've been shipped from Japan. Thanks to Switch. I'll give Switch a bit of a shout out as well. Banter Riverstone. Switch, of course, sort of helped to get these across, all well and good. So they've arrived. Maybe about a week later, Matt drove down to where I live, Stoke-on-Trent. So had a bit of an adventure day, didn't we, Matt? It was quite good. You got down quite early. I don't think we foresaw, it's probably the better word, how long it was going to take us to do this. So essentially our intentions were to take all of the artworks. Firstly, we unbox them, and obviously you can see the unboxings on the YouTube channel. I think part 1's up at the moment. Part 2 will probably be this Saturday.
Yeah.
And then in 2 weeks after that will be the final part. And we're hoping on that final part video to publicly share everything, all the artworks, etc. So that's kind of what we got lined up there. And there's also another good thing that I'm going to mention about that to come. So essentially, we unboxed the artworks. We then took the 3 folders to a local library, where we used their scanner and sort of hogged it for the best part of 3 hours, scanning in all of the artworks individually, just make sure that we didn't miss a single artwork, because there was quite a few stuck within the same sort of sleeves, 3 or 4 different artworks stuck in the same sleeves, which you can see on the unboxing video if you're interested. So that all went quite well. Matt put them on his USB stick. We went Weatherspoons, had a mixed grill. The first time. I've been hearing about the mixed grills being good at Weatherspoons, and actually they were pretty decent. And then we came back to this room, essentially, my office here, and we sort of distributed these artworks between the 5 of us. So this is kind of like my curated folder that I've got here of all the artworks that essentially we sort of picked a few of our favourites, which went quite well. Obviously, we're all friends, so we're quite, no one's bickering between us. There was no bickering.
No, it was all pretty good.
We can have this one. So it was really good. And then obviously the ones, like the majority of the artwork, we sort of just used Wheel of Names to sort of distribute, and it all went quite well. So we've essentially all got a folder. Matt's got a folder, Chow's got a folder, David's got a folder of original Shenmue artwork, which is a really nice way of doing it. I think it's sort of sharing that love, and as you'll see, some of the artworks are incredible. So as a big collector, it's just insane history pieces. I do intend, I've said this quite a few times, but I do intend to have like a Shenmue museum at some point. So these are going to be prime on display in front of everyone as they walk through the door, I guess.
some of this shit is from 1996. This is how old some of this shit is.
Exactly.
It's and without
going back to like the Sega Saturn days, essentially.
And without these, we wouldn't have found the other renders that were openly available on the internet for 25 years. We knew nothing about.
Exactly.
So it's opened up a big ass rabbit hole of stuff. But these are like, they're unreal.
Gold dust, aren't they?
Absolute gold dust.
So like Matt said, so we did a bit of investigation work on who the original owners or owner of this sort of thing would be, but the actual seller was just sort of like a second-hand game store apparently. So no real leads there. There is names on some of the artworks. I'll keep his name private for now, but essentially it led us to find a developer or a 3D designer called Hideki Kawabata, which is where those other artworks came from. And some of those artworks are probably...
I'm just getting the page.
Yeah, if Matt can get them up. So I will say now, 95% of these artworks are not very spoilery or anything like that.
Yeah.
Whereas, in a sense, the Hideki Kawabata artworks that are publicly available on his website, I would suggest probably are more spoilery in terms of what they're showing here, because we've got like new character artwork there, Mao, that we've literally just learnt about, this sort of Mongolian tribe lady that Ren happens to know, and also obviously the original artworks of the karate tournament, what they were working on back in the day for what that would have been at the start, or sort of like the prologue to Shenmue 1 before it got cut, obviously. And obviously you can see Alder Yer, Yan Lang in his Dreamcast models, which sort of suggests that they were working on parts of Shenmue 3 all the way back in 1995, 6, all the way to 2001. Seeing sort of the Alder Yer Dreamcast model there you've seen on the screen.
It's mental.
So yeah, insane stuff that this has sort of brought about, all this amazing new Shenmue artwork, and it just sort of deepens that sort of wider conversation of what's going to happen in the future of the story as well. Now we can talk about a character that we had no idea about, and in fact the Mao character actually does have an artwork in these files as well, Matt. So we probably would have just assumed it was another costume for Shenmue, but now we know it's a separate character.
Yeah, 100%.
It makes sense because there's like 4 of these characters on the same page. These Niao Sun, Chuing, is it Shenhua, and Mao.
Yeah.
On
all on one of these artworks. And what's really funny is David, we've got a Facebook chat with the 5 of us chatting through all this stuff, and David found an old Dreamcast article, I think from Japan, which shows Mao in that fucking image from 1998, and nobody knew who she was.
Yeah.
So
it's madness, isn't it?
And we're going, that's the fucking artwork we found. You know, like it's nuts, isn't it? How this stuff has just been sat there for. I mean, the renders and the character artwork outside of the stuff we've got in our hands. That was sat there for 25 years. Nobody knew. Nobody realised it was there. Yeah, so we've preserved all of that. But that doesn't happen without the auctions that we've managed to get hold of. Now,
no, exactly.
What I am going to do, I think, at this point in time, is I've got 10 images up that I've selected for tonight. I'm going to show them off.
Okay.
So what we've done, as James has said, we've scanned them all in. And then what I've then done through Photoshop is tidied them up to make sure any artifacting from the scanning has been taken away to the best of my ability. I'm obviously not a professional picture photo restorer, but I've done the best I can with the AI in Photoshop, and I think most of the job has come out quite well. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back on that one.
Yeah, I think you've done well there. So essentially what Matt's saying there is we did know they'd be like real thin red line.
Yeah.
Weren't they like a horizontal red line, which apparently is scanning like dust or something like that, can create these artifacts. So that's what Matt means there. But,
so
look at that one you started with there.
So first one's a sketch of Wong, which is absolutely mental.
So who do we think drew that? Is that
I don't know. I don't know who would have drawn that.
It doesn't look quite like Kenji Miyawaki, does it?
No, it's not.
I'm not sure. It could be how he used to draw. I don't know.
Could be. Could be somebody else. Then you've got a sketch.
Almost looks anime, doesn't it?
It does a bit. You could see where it was coming from there. Then you've got a sketch here of what would have been Akira at the time. And you can see in the top left corner VFRPG and Shenhua. Now, I'm not sure.
Looks a bit angry, doesn't she?
Yeah, she looks like she's telling him off. I'm not sure where they are.
That sort of looks like, are they trying to portray the Great Wall a little bit there? A squiggly line.
It could
does have sort of a Great Wall quality to it in the distance, doesn't it?
It could be. To answer Scribe's question, it took us about 4 hours to scan everything in, and then it probably took me another 5 to 7 hours to touch up the images afterwards to remove the scanning artifacting where I could. So it's probably taken like a good day, like, to do everything properly, like in terms of hours and manpower. But yeah, that's
kind of want when we release these, them to be as good as possible. And you can kind of see just here. I mean, it doesn't look like to me this is a piece of paper. It looks like this is an actual artwork that sort of originated on a computer. If that makes sense.
So again,
the scans are really high quality. 600 DPI.
We did it on the best possible quality. So some of these images like come in at like 35 megabytes. So you can't argue with that in terms of the quality. To answer the question in chat, how good it feel to scan them in? It was really satisfying, actually. Really satisfying. So
I'd like to say tedious, but I don't think it was tedious at the same time because it was exciting. Even though we were there for like 4 hours hogging this scanner in the library, it wasn't a chore, was it, as such? It was an enjoyable experience.
It was, and actually, to be fair, the people in the library were pretty good as well. They just sort of let us get on with it, didn't they? Now this is random. Next image here. So mixed in with this was some Virtua Fighter 4 concept artwork. So this is one of Sarah Bryant, like an early sort of render of Sarah Bryant. We're not quite sure where it's from, but again, just a nice image. It's quite cool all the same.
Yeah, I mean, to me, when you see that image and you've seen some of the other sort of similar artworks in the folders, it seems like the same team happened to be working on Virtua Fighter 4 potentially at the same sort of time as these files, or at least this. I don't know if it was Hideki or another guy or whatever. This is being his folder. Obviously, you'd assume that this was some of the artwork that he was using or utilizing. Great 3D renders, or maybe even drew himself. I don't know if he's that talented that he can sketch stuff and then model it in 3D. I don't know. But yeah, Sarah Bryant. Yeah.
Oh, just randomly, oddly, the hashtag Shenmue was trending with 2,000 posts about 10 minutes ago.
Weird. It's not
so
kind of the one we want to see, but
hey ho, we'll take it. So then moving on. Now this image, and it'll be on a little bit of a delay from James. This is an original sketch. Now when I say it's an original sketch, you could see on the paper that we scanned in the pen imprint on the back of the paper.
Yeah, just insane. In fact, so I've still got Nathan's here. This is one that Nathan's got. Let me see if I can show you on the camera. I'd have to go. Here, I found it. Okay. So let me try and show you on the camera, Matt. If you can
let me pop it up 2 seconds. Let me just get rid of my image viewer for everybody.
Or if you can make me full screen potentially for a second, I don't know. Right.
I might be able to.
So this is the artwork here. So it's it's proper paper, a little bit thinner. See if I can angle it under the light there. You can see
the prints on it.
You can see the prints of. So there's a little bit there. Sorry, man. This stream's so delayed for me, so I don't really know what I'm looking at. But hopefully you can see what Matt's saying there. Awesome artwork. So they've used 3 different types of pen, and this kind of feels like sort of a biro quality to it, if you know what I mean. It's got that sort of, that's what you're feeling on the back, the imprint of a biro essentially,
which is mad, isn't it?
Just madness that you know, you're talking 25 to 30 years ago, someone originally hand drew that artwork, and I don't know if anyone wants to have a stab at who the characters are. We've got Shuing for sure, but who the other two are.
I don't know.
Anyone
The one on the top right looks like Jeffrey, doesn't he? A little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Or I don't know why I went so high pitched there. Maybe I was thinking when I see it, I think of like Dalin for some reason, but it probably isn't. Is that top right? I'd have to double check again. Is it someone testing a pen or a signature?
I'm not sure. It could be a signature.
It looks like someone testing a pen. I don't know, unless it's a Japanese style. Oh, I'm showing it to the camera. It's not on the screen.
Oh,
yeah.
hang on. Yeah, top right. So yeah, it could be.
Top right.
Let me see if I can get you on.
That.
Hang on. Yeah. Bad handwriting.
It's either like bad handwriting, quick sort of signature, or someone testing the pen. I don't know. But amazing that it's hand drawn.
So that's there then. So that keeps us going. So let me then pull the image viewer back up, and we'll come on to the next image here when it lets me. Just bear with me. There we go. So we've got a nice one here of Nozomi. Just quite a cool image all the same. Not a huge amount to say here with it, just quite a nice image.
No, it's like promotional artwork that
never got
for some
used.
reason they didn't use on the cutting floor, yeah. But it's a really nice artwork all the same.
And then moving on, you've got one here of Zhuing. Very early character render.
I think I got that in Nozomi actually. I might even have that Shuing. Yeah, I've got that Shuing.
Oh, have you? Excellent. Let me pull you.
Quick check in my folder.
I can pull you on full screen if you want.
Go on then. It does have another image on the other side, Matt. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the image on the other side's fine. Yeah, so there's that render in full in the folder, which you can see there.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty.
I've got that Nozomi one as well, which it's the printing is actually spectacular. I don't know how they've managed some of the stuff that they've done. So some of the paper ones, honestly, I don't understand how they've got them so vibrant and so colourful. And the majority of them, right, Matt, are on this sort of photo quality.
They're on proper like
photo paper, sorry.
Thick photo paper.
Yeah.
Let me put up the image viewer again. We'll move through the last few images. So the next one I've got here is a shot of Zhuing in a coat. It's a sketch, which
Lovely.
I love that. I think I have that one. I have to have a look, but
I feel like I've got that one as well, you know.
There was a few of them. I'm just going through.
Sort of showing. Oh, I've got a Shuing in a coat, but in fact that one, actually, I did a swap with...
I've got the other image
I did a swap with David.
Where she's looking slightly different.
I used to have that one, but because both of my Shuings that I won had jackets on, and David actually had literally the same artwork, so there was a double of the same artwork twice. So I said, I might as well swap you that coat one for regular Shuing.
So there's that, and then moving on. You've then got a render here of, I'm not sure if it's a WoW or not at this point in time. We've got someone training in a dojo.
Yeah.
Again, it's pretty cool.
Love it. Sure looks like a beach outside, but I don't know.
Does a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then here's a good one. I thought I'd show this one. We have a referee at the karate tournament.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane.
I think it's the same character in white in the
Yeah, I think it probably is. I think you're probably right there.
Yeah. Just the hairstyle looks like that, doesn't it? So.
And then the last one I've got pulled up here is Nielsen's original design, which, if you look at Shenmue 3, that is what she looked like.
It's the same dress, isn't it?
It's the same dress and everything.
So, because if you think when we saw Niao Sun and Shenmue 3, everyone was thinking, like, oh, I prefer the original outfit. That is the original outfit as well. So
yeah, it's that's just a little teaser of the images that we've got kicking around. I mean,
there's about 400 artworks, isn't there?
Yeah, 404. I think we ended up scanning in total. 404. I'm not going to full screen myself because it'll cock up the bloody stream. But like,
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know if people can see that there, but there's another one of Niao Sun and a render there.
So there's like a third outfit, really, isn't there? Because there's one where she's got a hat on, isn't there?
Yes, I can't remember who got that one.
Here you go. My screen.
Let me full screen you.
The hat.
I'll full screen you. Hang on. So you got with the hat there, and then
the other side is we were thinking might be that Li Feng character.
Yeah.
It's like Niao Sun in disguise, maybe.
It's very close, isn't it, in terms of the body posture and everything, and the composition. Yep. There, it's very, very, very close. So, again, I know we're teasing a little bit, and we're probably people are going to come and hunt us down, probably, but everything is scanned, everything is pretty much touched up the way it needs to be. All the images are good. We're now just working on making sure that everything is released the way we want it to. So James is categorizing everything. That image is insane.
Oh, well. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to full screen that as well.
That is literally my favourite item from the lot, just because it's so frameable, it's so colourful. I think I prefer this design than the one that they actually went with. In the end. Trying to get rid of that glare. So, yeah, just stunning. In person as well, that looks so colourful. Like, I'm looking at the difference between the screen and the colours just pop on the actual piece of art, which... I don't know, I'm just buzzing.
The stuff...
I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just buzzing.
The stuff there is insane. It's an absolute treasure trove of stuff. So as I was saying, everything's scanned in. James is categorising everything up at the moment. We're working on the web page as well for it to be released properly.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was what I was going to mention. So we have actually... So in this artwork, there was quite a lot of, like... I'll call them doubles. They weren't doubles as such. They were like slightly different poses, or in a sense, some were direct double copies. So we do have 3 artworks of Shenmue that we've put to one side that we're going to give away to you guys. So you've got a chance to own an original piece of artwork of Shenmue as well at some point. So essentially, timeline-wise, I was thinking, so we've got part 2 releasing next Saturday, part 3 2 weeks later, and then on that part 3, we're hoping to have the website ready to go. I'm trying to work on sort of a Shenmue'ing style, where it's going to be quite detailed about like what's going on in this image. Here's this character in the main game. Maybe a little bit of translation from Switch underneath if there's any Japanese on the artwork. So it's going to be hopefully a nice page to sort of soak in all of the new artworks. And then we're going to be doing sort of a series of podcasts, or I don't know, Matt, depends on it. I want to do it like a podcast. And then I was thinking what we might do is said podcast YouTube video. We'd sort of like ask people to leave a comment or something on the video, and then you entered in to win a piece of artwork. And
we draw it at random.
If we do split it into 3, because there's a lot of stuff to get through, I was thinking like we do 1 per video and just give people a chance to win some of this stuff as well, which I think is pretty cool.
So yeah, that's make them subscribe. Yeah, we're very tempted to. So that's where I'm just going to say thank you, Andy ACS, for the raid with 15 viewers. Thank you very much. You've just missed us going through the some teasers for the Shenmue character artwork from the auction that we have managed to buy and put together and scanned in. But I'm sure you can catch us on the old VOD as well with that one. So yes, that sort of wraps us for the artwork teases, I guess. But hopefully that will just whet the appetite a little bit and gives us. We are going to release them. I will just reaffirm that they are going to be released in full on the website. Everything that we have scanned in will be available. It's been digitized forever. We just ask for a little bit of patience while we get the website right. We categorize everything properly, and we want to release it in the best possible way, because we could have just chucked it all out and gone, here you go, thank you everybody, but we want, because it's such a volume of stuff that we want to make sure it's done in the right way, it's easily accessible, and then hopefully we just let it go to the Shenmue community and people can enjoy it for the rest of time. And you can download them all as well. I'll put the zips up for all the original scans, all the touched up images. Everything will be available to download off the website as well, so you can keep your own copies of it. All of that will be there. So essentially, it's just going to be preserved forever.
Preservation at its finest, I guess.
That's the aim.
Essentially what we wanted to do, isn't it? Yeah.
Preserve this content forever. I'm just so glad that we managed to get hold of it, because I dread to think where it could have ended up. Probably in a basement, for all we know. We've never seen it.
I mean, I bet there's loads. Perhaps someone dropped on at some point, you know, maybe sitting on Shenmue build, and it just happens to be sat somewhere in some dude's basement, and it's only for his eyes only kind of thing. Because, you know, it's a shame, because there's so many people out there that want to digest this content and see it, and, you know, we've been waiting for so long for more Shenmue stuff. You know, it's been 5 years since Shenmue 3, over 5 years now since Shenmue 3. So just anything we can get our hands on is great for the community, great to sort of keep Shenmue spirits high. You know, that there's stuff in this content that is the future of the series, where the series is heading. Characters like Mao hopefully are still somewhere in Yu Suzuki's plans, because then, even now, although it may feel a bit spoilery that we know this character, but seeing her now, I'm going to be like, oh my god, that's Mao. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's a character like Shilling that's like it feels like a new character. This will feel like, oh my god, this is the original plan in action, and we're seeing the intended character Mao in Mongolia or whatever, you know, happens in Shenmue 4 or 5, and it's just going to be a mind-blowing moment, I think, seeing that in a future Shenmue title.
It's
more so now, I would say.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it, seeing all this stuff and the rabbit holes it opened up, and hopefully, maybe not for my bank account so much, but hopefully more of this stuff does appear and that we can get hold of it and preserve it, because if the dojo gets hold of this stuff, it's getting preserved. It will be online, it will be available, and that will be it. There's no two ways about it. We're not,
as long as it's not like mentally story breaking, like, oh, these artwork final scene between Rio and, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Then it's a bit like, probably won't release that.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't sort of disrupt the future of the series in a sense. Like, you know, if it was written down, this is what I want as the ending of Shenmue, from like handwritten Yu Suzuki notes or something. Obviously, you'd never want that out publicly, because we want Yu Suzuki to finish the story, not some handwritten notes leaked in a sense. But I don't see this as leaked, because this is like,
and
artwork it's not particularly spoilery at all, actually, is it? It's nice to have